Now, it may not seem obvious, and it isn't obvious, but insomnia, excuse me, I just took some chlorella before I hit the sauna. Insomnia, steam room, actually, prefer steam room. But insomnia is bounded on both sides, like bookends, by chronic fatigue syndrome. So, if you're experiencing chronic fatigue syndrome, that is a sign that you are either entering into insomnia or leaving insomnia. As I entered into insomnia, I would experience chronic fatigue. And this could be chronic fatigue lasting a few weeks, could be chronic fatigue lasting a few months, could be chronic fatigue lasting a few years, depending on your level and rate of mitochondrial dysfunction and degradation. Now, I experience sporadic chronic fatigue as my body heals from insomnia. I'll be sleeping, chronic fatigue. Insomnia goes away, chronic fatigue. Just tired all day, just exhausted, just want to sleep all the time. And it's basically like our bodies are using sleep. Speaking to people who have insomnia here, our bodies are using sleep and chronic fatigue. Our bodies are using sleep as a mechanism of healing. And when sleep fails, when we do not give our bodies the sleep it needs, or when the sleep we give it is inadequate based on other biochemical conditions in the body, then active dying begins and insomnia kicks in. And this is where you can't heal. You're just dying. Dying to sleep, you know? Why is this? This is because insomnia is, I believe, potentially, you could think of it as the body's last ditch effort to keep itself alive, or as a simple failure of mitochondria in the brain to produce adequate energy to go into a state of sleeping. You actually need energy in order to engage in healthy brain metabolism in order to sleep. Without that energy, you will engage in stress metabolism, which will keep your mitochondria in the brain and body accumulating iron, unable to dissipate iron, producing large amounts of reactive oxygen species that they cannot deal with. These will lead to gut dysfunction, sleep dysfunction, all sorts of terrible dysfunction. Chronic fatigue syndrome is similar to this. Chronic fatigue syndrome is where your body is trying to throttle your mitochondria as hard as it possibly can in order to avoid hitting that iron threshold. But what dictates whether or not your cells are retaining the fatal amount of iron is the amount of reactive oxygen species, the amount of other toxins present in the cell. Body detoxes the cells with metabolism. Your cells need to engage in metabolism, healthy metabolism, in order to detox. In order to be engaging in healthy metabolism, your cells need to have a low enough level of reactive oxygen species per production of ATP. This is where things like ketosis and the carnivore diet and fasting become very, very useful, because they allow our bodies to detox lysosomes and produce ATP with fewer reactive oxygen species and oxygen molecules per molecule of ATP, meaning that metabolism, let's say your metabolism is at a rate of X and it's unhealthy, then your metabolism could potentially go to a rate of 2x or stay at a rate of X while being healthy if it were in a state of ketosis or fasting.